the Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company presents the Schlitz Playhouse of Stars. And here to introduce tonight's play is your star and hostess for the week.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Ellen Drew, your hostess for this performance of the Schlitz Playhouse of Stars. I often wonder, don't you, how many desperately lonely people there are in the world. I believe loneliness is, well, it's one of the universal characteristics of the human race. Well, our play, which you will see in a moment, is a true story. Names and places changed, of course, of what happened in the life of a lonely governess named Miss Pringle. The story opens in the living room of Senator and Mrs. Varnum, just before dinner.
Hi, Petey.
Hi, Pop. It's like $20,000.
That's fine. You mind? There is no future in Las Vegas tennis, my boy. You see? And that's a direct quote from father to son.
Pop, can I have the funnies?
You've had the paper all evening, haven't you?
But you told me never to bust it up till you got home.
I can think of 30 different things to say, but each one would precipitate a filibuster. All right, Petey, you win. There you are. Wait a minute. Where's your mommy?
She went to collect Liz at dancing school.
Went to collect Liz? Why, is Miss Chambers off this afternoon?
She's gone for good.
Miss Chambers is gone?
She and Cook had a fight in the kitchen. Cook's gone, too.
Both of them? Well, must have been quite a day for Mommy, huh?
Hi, Mom.
Hi there, old Petey.
Hello, honey.
I danced a minuet. I had a partner.
You did? At your age? Well, what's the world coming to?
It was Jamie Fillmore, Daddy. He had a nosebleed right after.
Oh, you see, you went right to his head. How are you, darling?
Much better for that, thank you.
Come along, children. I've got your supper ready.
Come on, run along, you bandits, and get your hands washed. I'll be there in a minute.
Come on, Liz, let's go.
According to Petey, it's been a rough day on the home front.
Ooh, right there.
What happened?
Well, Cook always resented having Miss Chambers in her kitchen. They staged a great row this morning, whereupon Miss Chambers quit and I fired the cook. I got so angry. You know, I remember when I was a child, people managed to work together and get along. I remember Pringy.
Pringy? You mean Miss Pringle, your old governess?
Yes, I wonder if she's free. We haven't been in touch since Christmas, but if she was working then, oh, gee, it would be wonderful if I could get her to come and help with the kids.
Now, Mary, she's too old. Well, I remember her at our wedding.
And Jeff's christening.
Why, she was middle-aged then, and that's 15 years ago. Are you prepared to cope with a cranky old spinster?
Pringy was never cranky.
Okay. It's your department. But I'd think twice if I were you about Miss Pringle. Liz and Pete can be exhausting, you know.
I wonder why I haven't heard from her. I wonder where she is. Well, what do you say, Pringy?
Mary, dear, forgive me, but I think not.
Oh, but Pringy.
I'm sorry. I would like to help you out, but perhaps I can think of someone else. I'll try.
Well, I'll admit Liz and Petey are a handful.
I'll bet they are. Did you find another cook?
Yes.
Tell her no sauces for the children.
Oh, I really could take care of them myself. But I wish you'd...
I had no idea you were back in New York. I thought you were still in Washington.
We got back last week. The Senate's recessed now. Scott and I love getting back to New York. It's closer to Jeff's school. He comes home every weekend.
How is our Jeff?
He's a dream. So speaks a fond mother, but he really is. He gets out of prep school next year. Can you believe it?
I'm well aware the years are passing, Mary Barnum. He has his mother's eyes.
Pringy, are you due to start a new position soon?
No.
See here, you're not sick or anything.
No, I never felt better in my life.
Then why is it you're not working?
Stop being a district attorney.
Somehow you've never impressed me as being the type of person who would just retire and take life easy. And what about money, if I might ask?
Oh, I have some. Whether it's enough depends on how many years I must live out.
Must live out? Oh, Pringy, what is the matter with you?
Matter?
Oh, yes, this is not at all like you.
Mary, people change with the years. Isn't it strange that I'd refuse to take care of your children?
Then why do you refuse?
I don't want to be a governess anymore. I've spent my life looking after other people's children. Now I'm old and more alone. I love children. I'm quick to make new attachments, but slow getting over them.
But, Pringy, you're wonderful with children. Jeff loved you. I adored you.
You adored me. I adored all of you. But when a child reaches a certain age, the governess is sent packing. To begin again with another child. Over and over again. A whole lifetime saying goodbye.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pringy. I never knew.
If I'd only married and had children of my own, everything would have been different.
But you do have children, all the ones you brought up and loved.
Oh, no, they have their own lives. They're active and grown up. I had a life, too. Now, there's nothing to show for it. Nothing.
Don't say that. Why, Pringy, I'm a better woman now for having had you in my childhood.
Oh, Mary, dear. Makes it sound like...
I wish I could help.
Please, dear. Let's say no more. Will you have another cup of tea with me?
Yes, I'd love it.
We sent Pringle out on her first job, you know.
Oh, you did?
I mean, this agency did. My father, back in 1910.
Do you have names and addresses there?
Sure, everything's here. I don't know how much good it can do us, though.
Well, why not?
Well, we'd have no way to trace these people today.
Well, if you have names and addresses, you must have telephone numbers.
Show you what I mean. In 1913, she took care of Grace Jones's son. Shall we try to find a Jones in the telephone book? Here's another, 1920. Mr. Marham's children.
Well, is there an address there?
Sure. 400 East 40th Street.
400 East.
Forget it, Mrs. Varnum. They tore down that whole neighborhood. 400 East is where the UN building is right now.
Oh, of course.
Let's see here. The Murchison kids, they moved to California. 1922, the Radley boy. Here's one, Martin Radley, 30 William Street.
Martin Radley.
Comandini girl, consular service, gone back to Italy. Mr. John Colt. His daughter is Abby Colt.
Of course.
I don't have her address, but...
Well, Abby Colt shouldn't be too hard to find.
Hennessy's. Their Jimmy died in this. They live in Europe most of the year. Sherman's, Bradley's, Beresford. 1930.
Beresford.
Mm-hmm. They still have a house in Gramercy Place. She went to work for you in 1934. Your son is Jeffrey.
I remember my husband was a struggling young lawyer, and I helped him in his office. Ford Miss Pringle at all.
Well, I'm sure it was all paid back.
My 4 leads, Mr. Ralph. Don't forget the little trap. When I left Ray's.
Now, why do you want to find...
And have a surprise party. Well, Pringy does. Oh, it would mean a lot to her, Scott. Less forgotten.
Darling, I know you want to help her. You always want to help everybody. Nonsense.
Why? Well, we do enough of it in Washington, heaven knows.
Well, we have to there, and this is one time that we needn't. I am sick of it. Oh, you should for Miss Pringle. You offered her a job, and she turned it down.
Only because she was so unhappy.
But I don't think a party is any answer. Probably most of your prospective guests have forgotten Miss Pringle. They certainly don't know you. How'd you ever get them together?
Oh, I have an idea about that.
Oh, what is it?
I don't think this is the time to tell you.
Please join us at tea, if you will. Tuesday, November the 14th, 5 o'clock, 405 Park Avenue. Cordially, Senator and Mrs. Scott. Do you suppose the senator's heard of our work in India? Mother, perhaps he wants to help us.
Say, J.D., I have a wire here from Senator Varnum inviting me down to his place next weekend. He's loaded, you know, got money to burn. What do you bet he wants to make a bid on that Wall Street property?
Reminds me, tea with Senator Varnum, November 14th. They must want me to dance at the White House.
No, Jeff, Dad's in Washington. He'll be home tomorrow. All right, then I'll expect you around 6. Oh, and Jeff, wear a warm coat. It's chilly here. Yes, Jeff, I know how old you are. Goodbye, dear. Scott.
Hello, darling.
But you said Saturday.
That's a nice, friendly greeting. Have I done something wrong?
Well, no, but the way things are going to work out, I have.
What's happened?
Well, I asked Miss Pringle to come here and see Jeff this afternoon.
What's the matter with that? I won't bite her head off.
Well, she's coming at 5:30. The others were asked for 5.
Others? What others?
During this brief intermission before our next act, Schlitz would like you to join us in a visit back through the years to a time and place where great melodies were born. Composers of the last century used quill pens dipped in ink pots, like this. They composed on manuscript paper such as this, and they used the simple notes of the scale. All musicians had these materials, yet only Beethoven could create the great Appassionata. What qualities enabled one man to create this work of enduring greatness from such simple materials? Individuality, sensitivity, genius, an infinite capacity for taking pains. Can these qualities that distinguish all great art, can they be applied today to a product in use by millions all over the world? Yes, here is a product, Schlitz beer. The basic ingredients in beer, barley and hops, and brewing equipment in some form are widely available. But Schlitz brings you a beer of matchless flavor, a beer of individuality and sensitivity, brewed with the infinite care that distinguishes every great work of art. Schlitz and Schlitz alone has that distinctive taste that comes from just the kiss of the hops. Taste a glass of Schlitz. You'll love its matchless flavor, and its matchless flavor never varies. Join the thousands who every day are switching to this beer of perfection. Schlitz, the beer that made Milwaukee famous. Schlitz, first in sales. Schlitz, the beer the world loves best. Yes, if you like beer, you'll love Schlitz. And now, back to the Schlitz Playhouse of Stars.
Oh, Mary. Springy. I'm so happy to be here. You look perfectly lovely.
Thank you. It's wonderful to have you here. Take your coat. I'm sorry Jeff isn't here, but he'll be along in a moment.
How do you do, Senator?
Hello, Miss Pringle.
Pringy! Pringy, happy birthday! You look great!
Pringy!
Many happy returns.
Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday, dear Pringy! Happy birthday to you!
Remember me, Pringy, the little rattly boy with the slingshot?
Oh, Martin, how could I ever forget you?
Atta girl!
And Laura, it is Laura Beresford.
It was. How are you, Pringy, dear?
And Abby, you look just the way you do in your photos. I always cut your pictures out of the paper. I'll send you a real one tomorrow for your birthday. Oh, Mary. Oh, Mary, thank you so much. To think that I should see these children grown up.
Well, let's have our tea. This is for Miss Pringle.
Well, Senator, it was a real surprise to get your telegram inviting me down here this weekend.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
And how will you have your tea, sister?
With cream and sugar, if I may.
You can do with it, child. You've grown so thin.
Oh, that won't last, Pringy. I'm just back from India. I've been working out there with their medical missionaries.
Isn't it strange that you, of all people, should have taken such a step? As a little girl, you were always so eager to meet life head on.
And so I did, Pringy. Thank you. But I found that life had to mean something to me. Not only now, but through all the incalculable time ahead. And quite suddenly I found I had a vocation, a love of community life dedicated to God.
But, Senator, certainly a man in your position must appreciate the value of real estate holdings.
I appreciate that value, all right. I'm just not interested in acquiring any.
I know just what you mean, Senator. It's rather like people who come to see me dance. They enjoy the performance, but without being part of it.
Yes, it's something like that.
You know, Senator, I just put over a deal for a big office building on Upper Madison Avenue. 32 stories. Right now, after taxes, it's going to return a net income of $180,000 a year. You know,
Do you see these? Isn't it fantastic the way I go through toe slippers?
I understand you've been in India.
Yes, I was there about 6 months.
I've just been telling Mr. Radley, Mrs. Barnum, that of all the audiences in this country, those in Washington are the most responsive.
Oh, really? Scott tells me he finds very little enthusiasm in the Senate.
Excuse me, Senator. There's a telephone call for you.
Oh, thank you, Eunice. Excuse me.
It's the state police, sir.
No way, don't
Oh.
tempt me with goodies.
All right.
I've come straight from a performance of A Swan Lake.
Hello.
Utterly too
Hello.
exhausting. That entire
This is Senator Barnum.
But you know.
in my business, Miss Colt, I'm on my toes as much as you. I'm juggling things all the time, parlaying one deal on top of another. What I lose on the grapes, I make up on the bananas.
It's terrible.
But of course, ballet.
I'll drive right down. Where are you?
We proved that. I know we grossed $18,000 one night in Cleveland when I danced the doll in Petrushka.
Cleveland.
Oh, I see.
Say, did you ever happen to know a guy by the name of Joe Peters down there in Cleveland?
Yes, I see.
Big gun, wheeling and dealing all the time. Yes, sir.
All right.
Not? It's rather like people who come to see me dance.
Thank you.
Springy. Strikes me you haven't had much to say for yourself.
I've been listening to you all.
Well, I guess you haven't done such a bad job, huh? Miss Colt here, a top dancer, and, well, if I do say so myself, I haven't done too badly.
You always did have a good head for figures, Martin. Tell me, have you never married?
Oh, no, never had the time. Besides, honey, you spoilt me for other women.
Forgive me, Preeny, but when I get to talking of India, I seem to forget everything else.
And I'm probably the worst offender. I'm sorry, but you know how it is, with rehearsals all day, interviews, performances every night.
What's wrong, dear?
Too fantastic the way I go through
Nothing.
toe slippers.
Oh, there's something. I know that face.
There's only one solution.
I can't tell you now.
Please, Scott, I'll imagine the most horrible things. And it isn't that bad, is it?
And when my mood is meant to be soft, lyrical, that idiot conducts the orchestra in jig time.
Come on, we'll never be missed.
Of course, when the tempo is meant to be fast, he drags the beat as if it were a death march. Really a maddening man.
Now tell me.
It's about Jeff.
Oh, are his grades off? Can he come?
Sit down, Mary. Mary, there's been an accident.
An accident? Well, is he badly hurt? Where is he?
Well, he was driving down from school. He was on the parkway, and about 15 miles out of town. I guess he was driving pretty fast.
Oh, Scott, stop it. Tell me, where is he?
He's...
Oh, no, don't say that.
It's impossible. I talked to him at 6 o'clock. He's coming here.
You've got to face it, Mary.
Oh, I don't believe it. There must be some
There's
mistake.
no mistake. The police phoned. The state police phoned.
Well, I have to go to him. I have to get my coat. I can't... Oh, no, let me go. Let me go.
Stop it.
Stop, let me go.
Mary. It's too late. He's gone. He's dead. Yes, who is it?
It's Eunice, sir. One of the guests is leaving.
All right. They don't matter.
Nothing matters.
I want to be with you.
Oh, no, go away. I want to be alone.
I'd like to stay on Pringy, but I've got to get out to White Plains and see a taxpayer. Good night, sister.
My wife asked me to excuse her. She's not feeling well. I don't think we can...
Mary?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Say, that's too bad. Well, Senator, it's been a grand little reunion.
Wait a minute. I'm coming, too. May I go along in the cab with you? I have to rest before tonight's performance.
Sure.
Good night, sister.
Good night.
Good night, Pringy. It was lovely seeing you again. And I'll remember to send the photograph.
Goodbye, Abby.
Well, thank you, Senator. And do thank your wife. It's been awfully nice.
Good night, Pringy. And don't forget now, if I can ever do anything for you, you just let me know. After all, you and I used to go steady together. Good night, sister. Senator, let's keep in touch, huh?
I'm afraid I must go, too. Mother Superior's waiting for me. I hope your wife gets to feeling better.
Thank you.
Mary looked so well.
Well, the fact is we've had bad news. The boy.
Jeff?
Yes, he was driving down from school. Was killed.
Oh, no.
Do you want me to go to her? These things are hard, I know. Particularly when they seem so utterly lacking in reason. But God's will is always the will of one who loves us best. So in the end, there is reason, and wisdom, and right. Goodbye, Pringy. Goodbye, Senator.
Bye, sister.
Scott, you go in to Mary. I'll be here if she needs me.
My mind tells me that this is something we've got to live with. I don't know how. I can't go in there, Pringy. I don't know what to say to her.
There's nothing to say, but we'll say it together. Mary, my Mary. There now. Have it out with Pringy just as you used to when you were a little girl. There now, I know.
Pringy, isn't it rotten? Isn't it just plain rotten?
Yes. It's hard to bear.
I can't bear it.
You can. You will. You know, I've just come to understand how many losses parents endure and somehow survive. You've shown me that, Mary, through the people you've invited here today. For a long time now, I've thought that if I'd only had children of my own, I wouldn't be alone now in these final years. I envied the mothers who hired and fired me because their children were truly theirs. Then I met some of those children again today, and I learned a good deal. I learned that if I had, in fact, mothered them, they'd be lost to me now just as they're lost to their actual parents. You saw Abby Colt. You heard her. Dancing's her life. She doesn't want anything else. And Martin Radley, he's wholly obsessed and possessed by his business. And Laura Beresford, she's dedicated to her work. Mary, does this help in any way to see that death is but one of many losses?
But it's the final loss.
I've been luckier than I knew to have had my years with those children. I was able to share in that brief, precious time before adulthood claims them. I've been very confused and misguided in these past months. You knew that. You set out to help me.
Oh, Prinky.
It's good to be needed. We need each other.
Mary.
Scott, I'm going to be all right. Are you?
Miss Pringle, if it weren't for you,
Please. There's no need.
A birthday cake with lots of candles.
Mommy has a headache.
Mommy, we saw a cake with lots of candles. Only Cook says she can't cut into it.
But I can because, you see, it's my cake.
Is it, Mommy?
Go with Prinky.
yes, Pringy's here to stay.
And I'd love to share it with someone. Would you two be interested in that?
Sure.
All right. Come with Prince.
If you like beer, you'll love Schlitz. And here once again is the star of tonight's Schlitz Playhouse of Stars.
This is Ellen Drew saying goodbye for the Schlitz Playhouse of Stars and inviting you back next week at this time for another heartwarming story portrayed by a fine cast. Goodbye.